When you drive through New Zealand's picturesque highways, it's easy to take the road under your wheels for granted. But make no mistake, building safe and seamless roads through some of the world's most seismically active areas is no easy task. It takes thousands of intricate tests, months before the asphalt is laid. Much like an iceberg, our roads hide their secrets beneath the surface. And there's nothing like a day on New Zealand's biggest new roading project, Te Ahu a Turanga, to give you a peek under the surface to see how testing builds safer roads. But before we get to that, kia ora. My name's Hugo and I'm a young filmmaker. I was invited up to the Manawatu with my sound operator Simon to make a couple videos on the testing for this project, and we were pretty amazed by what we found. This video is based on an article Simon wrote and documents our experience as we learned what goes into making roads. Now back to the video. In a field where just 6 months earlier cows were grazing, a prefabricated village rose seemingly overnight. This village is home to hundreds of workers, brought together by an alliance of infrastructure companies and iwi organisations. High-vis vests and steel-cap boots sit alongside engineers, analysts and finance people. This was the group assembled to tackle the mammoth task of constructing a highway to replace the Manawatu Gorge Road.
Every time I come out here, there's something different about the place.
This is Stacey Walker. She leads the project's crucial lab and field testing teams. These are the people that test the ground beneath the road and the fills that go onto it to make sure everything is safe and to a high quality. When you're out in the hills with Stacey's field team, you start to get an idea of how big this project is.
So if you take a look down the gully here, you would have seen where the creek was naturally. We literally started from that level, and we've commenced testing every 200 millimeters, and I think we're sitting at around 13 meters now. So if you imagine each layer is 200 mils, you get an idea of how much testing we've done here.
With ground testing on every 200 millimeters of fill on the highway, there is likely to be around 220,000 individual field tests during the 4-year project. The field team used 3 different methods to test the soil. These tests involve everything from advanced nuclear technology to more conventional methods which have been used to build roads for decades. The first of the 3 tests is with a small metal device called a shear vane. It looks a bit like the combination dial on a safe and has been in use since the 1940s. It tests if the ground beneath the road can withstand thousands of vehicles driving over it every day.
Just try and find a good spot, put it in, and then we want to rotate it pretty much same pace as the clock would. So that's our shear strength right there. We'll do it 5 times, 5 tests within this area. We'll average it all out.
Next is the intimidatingly named nuclear densometer. This device emits a small number of radioactive particles into the ground to see if the ground is compact enough to withstand significant earthquake or liquefaction events. The particles will either reflect off the ground and then be detected by the densometer sensor or pass through the ground. The higher the number of particles reflected by the ground, the more compact it is. Finally, there was the penetrometer test, another conventional tool that has been used to build roads for decades.
What we do is we lift the calibrated weight to the stopping point and we let it free fall till it hits the anvil, which will push its energy through it and make our scaler go down into the ground to where we can get readings. If you can see these increments, they are 50 mils apart. I'm hitting it, the other guy is seeing how many hits it takes to get from this point, the first increment, to the next point, and so on. We do that all the way through the whole rod.
Back at the village, 2 unassuming containers sit in a quiet corner. Inside, members of the lab testing team work to process tons of clay, soil and rock that come and go every week. The containers themselves were recycled from previous projects to get the testing underway as quickly as possible. They act as the scientific hub for the project, while the purpose-built lab is under construction.
Welcome to our new lab.
Here, they test the aggregate that will soon form the base layer of the road, using a mix of technology and more traditional methods. It's important that the aggregate holds the correct mix of the large rocks that provide strength and the smaller rocks that bind the aggregate. For this, they use the sieve shaker.
The sieve shaker is going to break that down into its individual size fractions. It's slotted sieves. It's going to just shakes it out, makes a lot of noise. We're weighing each individual sieve, and then we'll work that out to a percentage. Then we're going to know how well it binds together.
There is so much more to roads than meets the eye. The testing, whether it be sieves in a container lab or a nuclear densometer out in the field, contributes so much to keeping our roads seamless and safe. The irony is, when you're driving around Aotearoa, the way that you can tell they've done a great job is to not notice their work at all.